What's up, everybody? It's Bergerac, and would you believe me if I told you Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers got caught lying again? If you've been following Some Ordinary Gamers the last 6 months to a year, he has really had a huge fall from grace on his YouTube channel for good reason. He's been caught in a number of lies and a lot of contradictions and blatant hypocrisies, and he hasn't really acknowledged any of them unless it's something that he feels he can control very easily. The simplest example of this would be him lambasting the Nintendo Switch 2 because of their admittedly anti-consumer practices, and then turning around and picking up a Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day, allegedly because he happened to be walking by the Best Buy when I think all of us would consider the fact that he immediately was able to get his hands on one. He probably had that shit pre-ordered, or he did a midnight walk-in. But that's one where he got called out and he actually turned around and apologized for it. And he took that apology more seriously than any other thing he's ever apologized for in, I would assume, years. Any of the controversies around him being a hypocrite, lying or being misleading, talking about shit that he has no authority to talk about, and him saying that as much, it didn't matter. Him being friends with someone like Nux Taku, who is a disgusting freak, is totally fine. But apparently calling him out for not being an actual engineer and lying about that for years is a step too damn far for Mutahar. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Mutahar has claimed since the beginning of his channel that he is a computer engineer or an engineer of some kind. He has been doing that since day one and hasn't really stopped doing it until maybe a year or so ago, but every now and then he flips it around from being an engineer to ex-engineer. The background that we were able to find from this came from the Nakandros video that he put out, basically detailing 40 minutes worth of this content where he would claim he was in this profession and he was an expert, and that's where his credibility came from, or part of his credibility came from, was revealed to in fact be untrue. The only evidence we had was him saying he went to college to be an engineer, only to drop out of college before he could finish his degree. His only background in this is being in college for maybe a semester or two and then dropping out. He has no actual background in engineering, and the only potential occupation he might have had was him doing some shit in high school. The guy is, if he's not already 30, he's getting close to that. He hasn't been in high school for nearly 15 years, and this is how we're gonna go about establishing our credibility? I don't think so. Mutahar's response to this video and the ones that have followed, such as Harmful Opinions calling this out and pointing out the fact that this is fucking bullshit and Mutahar should probably address this because his entire career is on the line at this point, is to stop posting videos 48 hours into this reveal, and he hasn't posted anything since, and muting the word engineer. You can't access it. If you type in a comment on one of his videos, if you use the word engineer, it's immediately deleted. It is hidden, it's gone. And that is incredibly strange considering the fact that he's been offline, not posting for 2 days. So he's had the time and the mental awareness to maybe go in and try and censor this. The guy who literally 2 days prior said censorship bad, for him to turn around and then shit on people and erase their stuff from his comment section just because they use the E word. It's a little ridiculous in my opinion. Dude, you got caught in a lie. You're supposed to be this arbiter of truth and freedom of speech and being a wholesome, dorky loser. That means you're gonna make mistakes sometimes. Sure, you might have lied about your credentials for a decade, but it's just a mistake you could apologize for. It's not that serious. Instead, he's going hard sicko mode on this. And it gets worse because his wife is now in on this too, where she has gone and made Instagram stories saying that people are trying to use these little doxes and be assholes and use all these slurs. She's claiming she doesn't have a problem with the racist trolling because people are calling Mutahar slurs. I don't think that's necessary, and I think it's kind of fucked up and takes away because people like Dojangles can turn around and claim to be a victim, or Mutahar could claim to be a victim, but I'd rather focus the criticism on the fact that he's a lying hypocrite and he needs to get his shit in order. I don't give a shit about where he's from or what he does. aside from sitting here and telling everybody one thing, pretending to be one thing, and in reality, you're just a lazy bum. Because that's what he is. You're gonna sit here and tell me you're a college dropout, your only work experience in this field you claim to be an expert in is a high school gig you got because of your parents' connections. When people rightfully call you out on this, you censor them in your comment section. Like, Mutahar, just own it. It's so weird that this guy who has made fun of lolcows and internet creators, much like Boogie2988 and Pirate Software, he's turning around and doing the exact same shit. The only difference is he hasn't banned 50,000 plus people from his account yet, but I'm sure that's the next step, because him deleting comments and moderating that is a classic Pirate Software move. What makes this funnier too is the fact that he criticized Pirate Software as well, but then he's gonna turn around and pull something out of his ass the way Pirate Software would. If you can't stand by your ethics and your morals that you claim to hold so near and dear to your little Canadian heart, don't talk with authority. If you've never had authority, that's okay. You'll never hear me talk about my credentials, because gamers, I don't have any. I'm just here to yap about shit that annoys me on the internet. That's my only credential. My experience is sitting here and lurking on the channels of YouTube commentary and YouTube drama for years, and now I'm finally getting around to talking about it because I want to. That is it. That's all you need to know about me, because I'm never gonna sit here and tell you I'm an engineer. This weird reaction that he's having, the silence and the silencing of people in his comments, suggests to me that it's something he's been aware of for a long time, and it's something that he's deeply insecure about. He's been a fraud since he started his YouTube channel, and we're only now finding out about this because someone willing to go in and dig up the dirt like Nicandros did finally brought all of this up. And I think it's interesting because if we had taken the time to go back and look at his posts about all, we would have known all about this. But it's like Boblax, where he has all this cringy, stupid bullshit in his background. Nobody talked about it because he was a member of the commentary squad. Mutahar was a part of that too. Even though he did these investigations that were really popular, when he was doing all this stuff and he was a notable creator and people would vouch for him willingly, this stuff was all still in the background. This weird stuff that he would say about going and filming documentaries in Japan and working in Japan, and he's just had this storied background of experience with video editing and engineering and coding and tech. All of this stuff could have been disproven a long time ago, but nobody bothered to look into it because everyone in this circle had a positive opinion of Mutahar. It was always there. It's a mirror of Pirate Software. Nobody would have known this stuff about Maldavius Fig Tree, the weird yaoi drama romance that he had when he was still married, if he hadn't fucked up the way that he did and then tried to tamp it down and hide it because of his fucking bruised ego. Mutahar's the same way. If he had actually engaged with this shit properly and apologized, and you know it's my favorite word, if he had taken accountability for his fuck-ups like he did with the Switch 2 purchase, none of this would have been a big issue. Like, you're gonna sit here and make fun of other people and point and laugh and sue other people when you're pissed at them. But when the axe falls on you, it's too much. And you've got to shut this shit down as best you can. You've got to hide as much of it as you possibly can. Ultimately, that's what really annoys me about Mutahar. So I'm really excited to see Nicandros's full expose on Mutahar. I'll be curious to see if he actually engages with it. I highly doubt that he will, considering this is how he's reacting to the precursor to this expose. 40 minutes of proof that he's fucked up and been a lying piece of shit. 10 years worth of evidence. And this is how he's responding to it. I don't know how long the Nicandros video is gonna be, but if this is our appetizer, the main course is gonna be fucking nuts. That's all I really had to say about this. I just wanted to jump back on this because I haven't talked about Muta in a while. I thought he was doing okay for himself, but he's not. And I think it's gonna get worse once all of this really comes. I do apologize. It's raining really hard right now. I hope you enjoy the ambience like I do. And all of the jingling and scratching sounds. I've got a cat in here and I'm not going to kick him out because he's really cute and I like watching him act like a nutcase. So I hope you enjoyed the jingle bells and the rain, but the next video should be a little calmer. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.